Welcome back to the Favorites Podcast, the film session. I'm Chad Millman. I'm joined by my co-host, my BFF, my companion, my compadre, professional bettor, Simon Hunter. This is the YouTube-only exclusive where Simon and I will break down plays that we've seen in the recent past that make us think about bets we might want to make in the not too distant future. Simon, you're up first today. What do you got?
So I'm going to go with Lamar here, and I'm just going to read you off some stats, why I chose Lamar. I think anyone that's been watching this year knows how good, obviously, the Ravens are. They just had this huge win over the Lions, which is, I pulled a lot of plays from that because it was Lamar's best game of the year. But this is Lamar's stats for the whole season. He's number 2 in completion percentage at 71%. He's number 3 in yards per attempt at 8.1. Number 3 in QB rating at 101. Number 4 in adjusted yards per attempt at 8.2. And he's number 4 in net yards per attempt at 7. So just the bottom line, this running back can throw. And I think everyone knows how good he is as a passer. But the fact that they've built the offense now around passing and they kind of got him the weapons. I mean, Zay Flowers has really changed a lot of what this offense can do passing wise. So we have some running mixed in here, but I just want to show a lot of his passing here. And just this first snap here, it's a Zay Flowers read. Look how calm he is in the pocket. Over 2 guys' heads who are both jumping for the ball. He drops it right in Zay Flowers. And these are just the plays I want to highlight for him. And it's just incredible reads. He's in the pocket. Usually he wants to go outside the pocket. Here he hung in there, stood in there, and made a great throw to Zay Flowers. So just an incredible game by Lamar, Chad.
His touch is so uncanny. Like you watch players like Trevor Lawrence or Justin Herbert, who we tout as amongst the best young quarterbacks in the NFL. And they miss so often on these short rainbow passes that require so much touch and nuance in how they throw the ball from the second they release it. He does it with such ease. He does not get nearly enough credit for his ability to lay the ball in and make it a catchable ball for receivers.
Yeah, and then you can go to the next one here. I just wanted to highlight this one run. Just about how what they're doing with the pass is setting up the run for Lamar. And that's my favorite thing about this new offensive scheme. It's like they can beat you in so many different ways now that it's just all about Lamar running. So they're easy fake to the running back. Everyone bites on it. Lamar's not accounted for. And even if he was accounted for, even if the DN did read it right, he never would have got there. He had blockers out there just waiting. So yeah, the everything's clicking right now for this Ravens team offensively. And this play right here is highlights it of good scheme, setting up one play for the next. This was on a 4th and 1, and this just right here ended the game, right? I think this put them up 7-0 to start the game, and the Lions just never bounced back from this start from this Ravens team that just looks like a juggernaut right now.
All right, so I'll put you on the spot. We didn't even talk about this before we came on the air. Baltimore Ravens 14-1 to win the Super Bowl right now. Lamar Jackson to win the MVP. I can't remember the exact odds, but let's say you had to make one of those bets. What are you betting on right now?
I probably would rather do Lamar MVP. It's just that their division's so hard that as much as I love this Ravens team and everything they've done, I need to see Lamar stay healthy for a full season and actually win the playoffs, Chad. I don't know the exact number of his playoff records, but I remember it was something like 1-3, something around there.
It's not
good.
Very good.
And if you go back and you watch that film, obviously things are different now. Lamar's matured, the offense has matured around him. So projecting out, I think he should be better, but at least I know he can win the MVP. I've seen him do it before. And right now, this year, the MVP is wide open. Like anyone could grab this thing, especially if you have a good record. And if Lamar wins his division, which we think is the best in football, I could easily see if he keeps playing this, like these highlights are unreal. If he keeps playing at this level, I have no doubt Lamar could get back to that MVP level.
Lamar is plus 650 to win the MVP right now behind Patrick Mahomes, Tua, and Jalen Hurts. So, look, I'm with you. The guy's magical as long as he stays on the field. All right, Simon, Lamar Jackson, that was your film sesh breakdown. We're going to get to mine.
Introducing the Action Network's NFL Luck Rankings. Our luck rankings grade teams based off something we call luck percentage, representing the win probability swing between a team's on-field performance and their actual winning percentage. So, if a team has been far more unlucky than a team they are facing, it's possible odds makers and the public aren't adjusting enough for this, meaning there's betting value on the unluckier team to cover the spread. So be sure to check out our NFL luck rankings every week, only on the Action Network.
Simon, for my favorite film session, I'm going with the Cowboys defensive line. And look, I know we've talked a lot about the Cowboys on the podcast. I know for this week, you're skeptical of one of my favorite bets, which I still think is the Cowboys as nearly touchdown favorites over the Rams. And I've been thinking so much about this. And Hutton, you can start playing the tape here. But to me, it's because of what the Cowboys defensive line can do. And it's not because of Micah Parsons. It's because of Osa Odighizuwa. Okay? Third-year player, defensive tackle, 6'2", 280 pounds out of UCLA. This guy has been a freaking force. And this was game one against the Giants. He was a main reason why the Cowboys blew up the Giants and won 40-0 in week one. He had a couple of sacks in that game. We're seeing one where he's basically bulldozing a guy up the middle and getting to Daniel Jones. But he also had a sack in that game where he was basically 5 yards outside the offensive tackle and getting to Daniel Jones. I mean, the guy has just been amazing running so far this year for the Cowboys. And it's one of the reasons why Micah Parsons can do what he does, is because he's not getting double teamed as often, because people have to account for what Odighizuwa is going to do if he gets single teamed. So it's a really fascinating sort of interplay between the two of them. Okay. But we can't discount Micah Parsons, right? Last week against the Chargers, the Cowboys were not getting, and Hutton, you can play it here, the Cowboys were not getting to Justin Herbert at all, but they were getting to him nonstop in terms of pressure, right? They had so many QB pressures. And then finally, it was almost on cue at the end of the game, a 2-minute warning. Joe Buck says Micah Parsons hasn't gotten to Justin Herbert yet. And then immediately Micah Parsons shoots right up the middle and he gets to Justin Herbert, right? And sort of that became an important part of the game. But the play that ended the game was not the Micah Parsons sack. It was the Osa Odighizuwa pressure on the following play, which forced Justin Herbert to throw the game-ending pick. So, just like you did, Simon, just like you did, I'm going to read some stats. In 33 pass rush snaps, Odighizuwa had 5 hurries, 1 hit. He was the Pro Football Focus top grade of that game and the defensive player of the week for Pro Football Focus. Right now, he ranks number 6 amongst all defensive tackles, grading out at number 6. He's in the NFL's top tier of pass rush wins from the interior defensive line, and he is helping the Cowboys dominate. Like I said, 26 pressures on Justin Herbert on 44 dropbacks. Micah Parsons had eight of those. Odighizuwa had 6 of those. This defensive line is what powers the Cowboys. That's why I like them so much.
Yeah, it's definitely the best defensive lines in all football. Parsons is always going to be up there for Defensive Player of the Year. It's just the guy has an insane motor. He doesn't miss time. He just is a workhorse. And I think you said it right, where he kind of got shut down that whole game. But when it mattered, when the effort, he needed to put the highest level of effort, he brought it. And yeah, the argument could be said, well, they know it's passing downs, right? The Chargers had to pass. That's why it's a lot easier for them to get pressure. They know what's coming. Guys, Nick Bosa, who we think is one of the best pass rushers in football, I think he has 2 sacks this year. And you don't think the 49ers have been up in a lot of games? It doesn't matter that they know the passing was coming. It takes a lot to get to the quarterback. So, yeah, I always give the Cowboys flowers. That defense is really what's been, for them, what's really got them going the last couple of years, right? Parsons kind of taking over that identity. I know Dak has always been the guy, but Parsons feels like he's the guy, right? Like everyone talks about him. He's top 5 of his position now for, I mean, going on 2 years. Yeah, that all those highlights you just showed highlighted of. Doesn't matter if he needs a bull rush you, beat you with speed, beat you with hand placement. Like his hands are incredible too. This Dallas defense is scary, Chad.
That is a fearsome combination. All right. This has been the favorites, the film session, the exclusive episode of the podcast on YouTube. He is Simon Hunter. I am Chad Millman. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again next week, folks.